And I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for the Investment Consulting Impact Award. This means a great deal to me. And it means a great deal to me in particular because I've worked with the Investment and Wealth Institute for, well, I think the first program we did, the first CIMA program was January 1988. So I've been involved for the 33 years, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience for me. And then to have this award on top of it really means a lot to me. In fact, what I would like to do in my few minutes is to thank three groups of people, because it's these three groups that have kind of made the CIMA program work out the way it has. And the first is, of course, the Investment and Wealth Institute. Now, the Investment and Wealth Institute, you may hear me call them IMCA because when we started this back in January 1988, it was the IMCA program. That's the Investment Management Consultants Association. In fact, the way I remember it, we first had contact with IMCA, or now Investment and Wealth Institute, back in 1987. And they reached out to executive education at Wharton saying that they had this vision that they were going to have a one-week program that they wanted the professors at Wharton to design so that it takes all this academic material that people had thought up, that academics had thought up in the previous years and actually the previous decades, and make it so that the people in the people at IMCA, the wholesalers, the investment advisors, and so on, that they would be able to use this material working with their clients. So they had this vision, and to kind of put the vision in perspective, just think about the ideas that they were expecting us to talk about. They knew that back in '87, there had been this Harry Markowitz who came up with modern portfolio theory. I think that was back in 1952. And in the 1960s, you had these two fellows, John Lintner and William Sharpe, who separately, but came up with the same idea, the capital asset pricing model, that led to so many things such as performance measurement. And Eugene Fama, back in the 1960s, came up with the idea of efficient capital markets. And you go back earlier, maybe the late 1930s, Macaulay, who came up with the idea of duration and how that leads to improvements in terms of bond management. And there were other ideas at the time as well, but these were the ideas basically that IMCA envisioned in terms of this one-week program. And as I recall, they sought out executive education at Wharton. And Wharton then later came to me and asked me if I would be academic director, because I had done programs something like this in the past for exec ed. And so what I did was talk to other faculty and find other faculty who would be interested in doing this. And then we met with, later in 1987, with the IMCA people, as well as the people at exec ed. And that's how this program got started. So to me, I really want to give thanks to the Investment and Wealth Institute, because it was their vision, this idea that you could take this academic material, because that's what it was, thought up by professors around the country, around the world, and make it so that it could be applied in the real world. So that's the first group I want to give thanks to. The second group I want to give thanks to is the other faculty. And if you've taken the programs at Wharton, you probably remember the other faculty: Dick Marston, Craig McKinley, Frank LeMay, among others. And they've been involved almost I think Craig has probably been involved since the very beginning, since '87. The others came in a little bit later, but whatever, they have been these great professors, these great teachers. I would sit in on their classes from time to time in the CIMA program, and I always walked away thinking, wow, they've really done something special. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to work with them. But the other group that I'm particularly want to thank is you guys in the who have taken the program, because this is because you were able to understand the academic material so well. And this was a potential problem. I remember the meeting we had with IMCA back in 1987, where the big problem we had was, who can understand this material? Well, to some extent, Wharton undergraduates understand the academic material on investments. To some extent, the MBAs can understand it. But even they have real problems understanding it from time to time. The one group we were sure we knew understood it were Ph.D. students, because our Ph.D. students at Wharton are so good, and actually PhD students around the country and around the world are so good. So here we know the one group that can really understand this material, the PhD students. Well, hey, we're talking to people in the real world. Are they going to be able to master the material in the same way? And we didn't know in 1987. We decided, hey, let's run the program. The first one was January 88, I think, and we'll just see. And well, you guys did a great job. What I remember, not just in January 87, but in all the times we've run it, how quickly you mastered the material. Partly because of your brain power, partly because I think you were so determined to learn. And it wasn't just that you were able to repeat what you learned, it was that you had different insights. And how many times during the 33 years or whatever of me teaching, would I hear some question in class that I would tweak in my own mind? Wow, that's some new idea, some new twist on how to look at this. I'm going to incorporate that in my next presentation. So, wow, you guys really did great and have been doing great over the 33 years of the program. But in addition, what made this so enjoyable to me was that you were really likable people. Now, maybe that's understandable because you guys many of you are in sales, maybe most of you are in sales, but whatever, it was this combination. In the classroom, hey, I was getting good feedback. You guys were really understanding this. And, something that we had worried about, as I said, back in 87. But in addition, it was enjoyable hanging out with you guys. And if you, took the program at Wharton, probably I was there at almost all of the meals because it was such a thrill hanging out and just joking around with you guys. And then in addition, from time to time at the meals, you'd give me some interesting idea in terms of the academic material, in terms of this material on investments. So again, this is a wonderful, wonderful honor for me. And it's really kind of like icing on the cake because I feel so fortunate that I was involved with this great experience over the 33 years. And then to be given the honor in addition is, as I said, icing on the cake. So I want to just say thank you very much.